And now, your main event. Introducing the hosts of Wrestling with Freddie, Jeff Dye, and Freddie Prinze Jr.
And I don't want to hear no bull crap, Alex. If these fans trying to come after me and or coming after Freddie, I'm gonna let it. I'm gonna cook.
That's right. I'm just gonna sit back and watch him eviscerate. All right, here we go. This first question comes from B-Mail2424. Hope you're a Kobe Bryant fan. 2424. That'd be cool. Anyway, B-Mail asks, how do you two even know each other? And how'd the podcast come to be? Jeff, do you want to start with the first part and I'll take the second part?
I, being a huge fan of Freddie Prinze Jr. and his work growing up, thought he was the man. I've always thought he was the man. I've often longed to be with Jessica Biel or Rachel Lee Cook, and this guy lived these worlds in movie format. He's a good dude. Anyways, he also likes all the same stuff I like. He likes wrestling. He likes comics. He also likes other things I find interesting that I don't really know about. And we have a mutual friend named Josh Wolf, who came and did my comedy podcast, who's a stand-up comedian. Shout out to our boy Josh Wolf. And then I said, oh, you know Freddie Prinze Jr., because they had a podcast. And he goes, yeah, I could reach out to him, see if he'll do your podcast. And then when Freddie came on my podcast, when you fall in love, I have an expression that I use for some of my buddies where I say you fall into friendship. Have you ever met someone you're like, this guy rules? Like, this is like, I love this guy. Like, immediately, like, I want to hang out with him or talk to him as much as possible. I fell into friendship with Freddie. So that's how I remember it.
Yeah, that's exactly how it happened. And we became good buds and started talking wrestling a lot. And I went over to his place for a couple pay-per-views. He had a couple buddies over. And we would just watch sweaty, buff dudes smash into each other. What? What? And then I had a podcast about wrestling, and I said, hey, man, I'm looking for a partner, and I think you'd be great, and do you want to do it? And he's like, yeah, we'll just talk more wrestling. And that's how it came to be. And now it's Wrestling with Friends. Next up, it's Justin Rayner, 99. And they ask, they just want to know straight up what we think about a wrestling storyline, Jeff. They want to know, Justin wants to know, will the Judgment Day break up after WrestleMania? You see how tough I just made you sound, Justin? It's because I freaking love you, bro. I'll start. Ever since Rhea and Damian Priest left the Judgment Day, I haven't cared too much about it. So I think it's time for it to meet its end. I think Dominic and Liv are the perfect sort of foil to destroy it and blow it all up, with Finn Balor getting sick of being in a backseat type position. And you can blow the whole thing up. I liked it originally when it was Edge and he was bringing all of them together. Him and Damian Priest had an awesome match in Toronto that was like one of my favorite matches of the year. I don't know if you guys remember it, but it looked like John Wick fight choreography in a couple parts of it. It was awesome. But once they got kind of tossed out and they tried to turn those two out and they got beat by Rhea and Damian, I've never seen them recover since then, tag team titles or not. Jeff, take it away.
I love me some Roxanne and Raquel and Finn and Dom and Liv and what's the other guy's name? I forget. Listen,
JD
I love
McDonough.
them all. That's it, JD. I love all those guys. I love them all. I think they're all fantastic. I have no shade to throw at those wrestlers, but I don't like the group. I like them. I just don't like them as a group. It feels like it's always ever changing and it doesn't really make sense. They make these fake green rooms for them to do their segments in that you can tell they just put up two crappy walls. Like, none of it really works. I'm like, I don't see how Raquel and Roxanne are really even part of this group. It feels like Finn's being left behind. JD Madonna's like this kind of like whatever. It just doesn't feel good as a group. So I like all of them if they're all in individual stars or if they're going to run a tag team thing. But I think that the group has been over with for longer than a year.
From JD Third Eye Photography. What made you a wrestling fan to begin with? Well, JD Third Eye Photography, my grandma, rest her soul, was a Puerto Rican woman out of Boquerón, Puerto Rico. And she loved lucha libre. And in San Juan, they would have wrestling matches up there. And all the luchadors would fight. Not everybody was a luchador, sometimes, but those were her favorites. Sometimes, the other American wrestlers would come in, or Japanese wrestlers would come into the territory and wrestle for a little bit as well. And she took me to a match. And they brought a steel cage in and surrounded the ring. And she had told me about a cage match. I said, "Oh, is this a cage match?" She said, "No, they always have this cage here." And I said, "Why?" And she said that in case the wrong guy loses, they don't kill the winner. And because the fans back then, a lot of them still thought it was real, including my grandmother to a certain degree. And I remember when The Rock turned corporate, she turned her back on him because he turned his back on the people. And she got mad that my wife even made a movie with him. I said, "Don't worry, Grandma, it's not a good movie." She said, "I don't care." So anyway, that's how I got into wrestling. It was through my family, kind of like a grandpa taking his grandson to his first baseball game. That was my introduction to wrestling. What about you, Jeff?
I've told the story on here before, so you can go back and listen to the older episodes, so I'll keep it quick on this one, but you can find the full story back when I first came on. But I was in kindergarten, and my mom put me on a play date with one of the other classmates that I had. His name was Eric Barons. Shout out to him. And he showed me the WWF Hasbro toys, and I fell in love with it. I was looking at these toys. I couldn't believe how cool they looked. They were all jacked, and they all looked different and had different characters and personas. And then he goes, "These are real guys." And I was like, "What?" And he showed me WWF, and he showed me that the toy I was holding was actually on the screen. And so through those toys, I discovered the show. And then from there was sky's the limit. I fell in love with wrestling from that day.
This one's from Dr. Y_11. And he wants to know, is Roman Reigns already a WWE legend? What? Is he? Jeff, you can start.
Well, of course. I mean, the guy's resume is undeniable. Also, no, not trying to be a jerk, but the only thing you have to do to be in the WWE Hall of Fame is be in the WWE. Eventually, they're going to put you in. It's not like baseball. Like eventually, you're going to be a WWE Hall of Famer. It's a fact.
Yeah, before this podcast, I probably would have got in eventually.
Yeah, you might still be in eventually. Our crazy president of the United States of America is a WWE Hall of Famer.
Yeah, everybody's.
I mean, what are we splitting hairs here?
Everybody is. All right, here we go. This one's from, I was going to say Joaquin Aldaco, but there's an N in there, so I don't know if it's Juanquin, and I just don't know that name. But I'm going to go with Joaquin Aldaco. Does Sarah or any random hot chick Jeff is with watch wrestling with you guys?
What a great way to word that.
It's the best question that we've gotten so far. I don't know if anybody's going to top that, Joaquin. Your question fucking rules, and so do you. Yeah. So Sarah has watched before. If there was matches that I felt were important, that I was like, these two guys are going to bring down the house, and I'll kind of set up the reason why they're fighting, what it is. I'll show her a couple of their promos if I think the acting's good. And as an actor, she gets interested in that, like which of these guys and girls can actually act, or is it just the same, sort of bad stuff we saw in the 80s and 90s from a lot of people. Like that's her and most people's experience to wrestling, especially in Hollywood, which has a higher, you could argue this has a higher standard for acting, but that's debatable as well. If you want to throw some shade, feel free. But yeah, man. So she's watched a couple matches with me, but it's truthfully not her thing. Like I made her watch a Royal Rumble when I think Roman Reigns won it. And I even had her tweet. I was like, tweet that Roman's going to win this shit, and you'll look like a G when he does. And I think she actually did. I can't remember, though. It was a long-ass time ago, if you remember that Royal Rumble. So that's my answer. Jeff, what about you? You got any hot chicks that watch wrestling with you, bro?
Let me tell you, many hot chicks have watched wrestling with me, and none of them get it. I hate to crush your hope, but the type of woman I'm attracted to, I could explain it. I could defend it. I could sit there and give her the same speech every wrestling fan gives their girlfriend or women they know. Well, it's like theater, but it adds athleticism, and it's really like a drama. It's just as real as Friends or Game of Thrones. It's all lost on the type of birds I date. They don't care. They don't like it. They don't get it. And that's okay. I have to just go, listen, you know how you watch those makeup tutorials and all that crap I don't like Love Island? This is like my makeup tutorial or my Love Island. So let me have it. And then they go, okay, fair enough. I'll let them have it. But no, none of them sit there and hold my hand and go, oh, Jeff, we hope Braun Breaker wins tonight. Like, they don't get it.
I hope he does. I like Braun Breaker.
Yeah, well, you're a cool guy, not a hot
Shout out to Jeff Dye going back to Frank Sinatra and calling females birds and ring-a-dings and dames. Look at this dame over here. Look at the stems on that dame.
That's a great question.
All right. From yo_bitch. What's better? Better stories with boring matches or better matches with no build-up? All right, yo_bitch. I'm going to answer this first. And this is going to surprise you. I actually think it's no build-up and a better match. And here's why. Normally, I want build-up for it. But if I have to pick between the two, the only reason I ever watched a Bruce Lee movie or a Jackie Chan movie or a Jet Li movie was to see these motherfuckers kick ass. And I would buy the DVDs or rent the VHS tapes, and I would fast forward to the scene where Jackie Chan would have to fight 27 dudes and slide down the side of a building, and all these like weird Dutch accents were all throughout the movie. Everyone who spoke English was always Dutch, and they sounded weird. And I never got it, but I always loved the fighting. So if I had to pick between the two, I would take a Speedball Mike Bailey versus Kyle Fletcher tournament match and over a great build-up and being completely let down. I remember when the Uso brothers wrestled at WrestleMania, the build-up was so dope, and the bloodline was falling apart, and they were both turning into stars, and we were watching them go from just a tag team to people that were getting mic time, and then the match was just like crickets, dude, and I was so disappointed. Whereas if I just see a dope match, I'm like, yo, that's a dope match, straight up. Like, those guys killed it. I may wish for a story, but if I had to pick between the two, I'd go with the latter, and that surprised you, yo_bitch, and let's see what Jeff says.
It's a good answer. I've learned something about myself through talking about wrestling so much with people. So like when you hear like a grumpy Bret Hart do a podcast in 2025, he'll say something bad about a wrestler and he'll be like, I mean, how many great matches has he had? Give me 3 good so-and-so matches. And then I like listen to that and I'm like, I don't even care about matches if I'm honest. I care about the build-up to a match. I care about the story of a match. So realistically, I'm not one of these wrestling fans who can name like, oh, that was so-and-so in WrestleMania 3 or that was whatever. I don't really care about the matches that much. I care more about the build and the story and the drama of wrestling. So that being said, I care about build-up way, way, way more. That being said, don't confuse long build as a good build. Sure, just because it's long, that doesn't mean it's great. Sometimes they drag these things out, and I'm like, listen, I'm in on it, but it's too long. Or it's too short, and it wasn't a good enough build. So I'd like a good build, but it has to be appropriately measured.
Yo_bitch for sure thought you and I were going to say the exact opposite things we said. So you got double surprised, yo_bitch. Enjoy.
It sounds like you're insulting him and you're just saying his screen.
Yeah, I'm just saying your name, bro. You're still my brother. All right, this one's for Matthew K in the USA, or this is from Matthew K USA K. One more K and we would have had beef, Matthew. I'm just putting that out there. All right, the first part we've already answered, which is how did Jeff and you first meet? Has he met the family? Yeah, of course he's met the family. My daughter thinks he's super cool because he makes her laugh. He's a part of my friend group, so he knows some of my friends. He knows my wife. He's met Rachel Lee Cook. They've hung out. Like, he's met all the people that I know he knows. So yeah, he's a homie.
Yep.
He's a homie.
Sarah made me pizza one time. I thought it was very motherly of her.
She was very motherly.
She's like, you need to eat. And I was like, no, I'm okay. And then she like fed me like I was like Rocky or something. She's like, no, you got to eat a pizza.
Yeah, you
like,
skinny little bitch.
It was great. She sent me with a pizza in the car. Like I was one of the kids just eating in the back with your kids going, what a good lady.
Picking the pepperoni off. I don't like pepperoni.
It was really nice. Yeah.
All right, from Scooby-Doo 3 _ the petition. Oh, this is from Brazil. Brazil wants Scooby-Doo 3 so bad. Here's the question. Freddie, petition for Scooby-Doo 3 here. Love Brazil. All right, so I'm just getting love from you, and I appreciate that. Listen, Brazil gives more love than any other country in the world, straight up. Brazil gives so much love, man. You could F up bad and just ask a Brazilian like, yo, I effed up. Please forgive me. And the Brazilian will be like, you know what? It's all good. Let me choke you out first, but then it's all good. Brazil gives mad love. They're the only country I get love from consistently, like on Instagram, on my painting videos. Like I would get a lot of advice from people like, try this brush, try this technique. And I'm like, okay, sick. I got to get it. Okay, send a link. I'm dumb. I don't know technology. And they'd be cool and send a link. And then like the third one down would be like, love from Brazil. They always give love, so I love you guys so much. But let me just be honest with you, and I hate breaking people's hearts like this. I did 2 of those movies, and I love what those movies did for people, and I love what those movies did for me and my family. But I'm done making them. I'm almost 50 years old, y'all. I'm not putting on another blonde yellow wig and pretending to be Fred Jones. Like, let a young actor who needs the opportunity go in there and get it. There you go, Scooby-Doo 3 _ the petition. Next up. From Brandon. Oh, man. I think this is a Vietnamese name, and I'm not good with these. Hune? Brandon Hune? If I messed it up, I'm so sorry, dude. I hate messing people's names up. Except John Cena's. All right. My favorite match and Jeff's favorite match of John Cena's retirement tour, and who are the next 5 wrestlers? That's awfully ambitious of you to demand would give you 5, but let's see where this goes. And who are the next 5 wrestlers in AEW that you'd like to see become champs? All right, I'll start this one. I like the last match because I thought, and we said this in another episode, I thought him tapping out to Gunther is the most generous gift one wrestler can give to another wrestler, especially on the way out. It's letting people know, like, this is a final thing. I thought that was wonderful. So that was my favorite of all of them. My favorite one that he ever did, which you didn't ask, is an old one from like 2009 with him and Randy Orton when they had their feud going on. But as far as AEW champs, who would I like to see with a belt? I want to see Bobby Lashley. But I feel like you phrased it as if it was like the new talent, right? And not like the old school guys they brought in. So maybe that's a bullshit answer for you. I'm just going to give you 1, maybe 2. So if it wasn't Bobby, if it wasn't a Shelton Benjamin, then maybe that dude, the other half of Jet Speed, not Speedball Mike
Kevin
Bailey,
Knight?
but the other guy. What's his name, producer Alex? Kevin Knight. That's his name. That dude can fly too. I love the leapers because I love luchadors, right? I love the people that jump off the top rope, and people like Montez Ford, that new kid from NXT. His name starts with a J. That kid can jump out the building. Kevin Knight jumping out the building. Like, it's just like Blake Griffin level hops, and I get to see it in a wrestling match. So there's a couple that I could give for you. Jeff, I've given you a lot of time to figure one out, so yeah. I hope you took advantage.
And what's this guy's name? They asked the question. This is
Brandon Hune, I think.
Brandon Hune, I'm not giving you anybody. I don't care. AEW. I hope MJF wins it and then never loses it ever again. I hope that he just retains it forever. He becomes the Hulk Hogan of AEW, just never loses the belt. And then when he's doing 30 years from now, they go, all right, then maybe now someone else can have it. But I will say about the John Cena thing, you just reminded me of something else. Also not what you asked. But don't you think the retirement of John Cena, the way he got a slideshow, and then the guys came in and took a knee and handed him their belts, and then the whole locker room comes out, don't you think this sets up kind of an expectation for other GOATs when they wrestle? Like, if no one's ever gotten that before, aren't you kind of saying, well, you're not as important, Brock Lesnar, as John Cena was? Oh, you're not as important, AJ Styles, as John Cena was. Well, John Cena got the real red carpet. I mean, we made a meal of it for a whole year. The last match, the last thing. And so I'm wondering if that's going to, how we're going to be able to justify this in the future for wrestlers that retired. But I know that's not what she asked, so I just went and answered my own.
Brandon, Jeff may not like you, but I love you. You're my brother. You're his too. He just, it's the brother that shits on you. All right, next up, from SoCal King 32. As a kid growing up, I always thought FPJ was Neo from The Matrix because to me, him and Keanu look alike. But here's my question. Okay, so that was just random information.
Right, I just wanted to
Thanks, SoCal King 32. Respect. What is one Christmas gift that you always wanted as a kid but never got? Oh, man. All right. This one hits hard, buddy. So we didn't have a lot of money coming up. My dad didn't. I mean, he made it, but he wasn't making money. And when he only worked for a year, really, where he was making good money. And when he died, the lawyers just took it all, right? So we didn't have a lot of money coming up. My mom, who recently passed away, she was struggling and going through problems too. So I was working, by about 14, 15, and to help pay bills. That's just to kind of paint this picture for you. So when I was a kid, these toys, the Transformers, were the greatest toys that ever came out. I'm telling you guys, for the old school fans who are listening, you guys know, but for the new school ones, it would go from a truck to a fucking robot, man. And in 6 to 10 steps. Some of them were hard to do. Like some of them were very difficult to remember all the steps. If you got rid of the instructions, which were already complicated, you were just straight fucked. There was no online video to show you how to do it. You were just done in half mid-form Transformer. You'd have to get a new one. It was sucked, but they were expensive because these toys were amazing. I think they were from Japan, at least the cartoon was from Japan, and I loved them, and I begged my mom, all I want for Christmas is Transformers. No clothes, no anything. Please, Transformers. They had just come out with these new ones called Flip Bots, and you could pull them back, and they would drive by themselves and then flip up and land on their feet, and I thought they were the coolest thing. And on Christmas Day, dude, I get downstairs and there's some presents under the tree. Not too many, but not too few, We tried to make Christmas special, and I went down and I grabbed the first box, and it was a little small, so I thought it was the Flip Bot. I was like, all right, it's not Optimus Prime, but I got the Flip Bot. And I opened it up, and it was a fucking GoBot. Now, for those of you who don't know, GoBots were like the Temu version of Transformers, all right? They were bullshit. The cartoon sucked. The toys sucked. It was a one-step transformation. You just folded it up. The arms didn't articulate the way Optimus did. The legs didn't articulate. And all of the gifts were GoBots. And I was like, oh, I can't even play with my bros. And I can't get mad at my mom because she tried her best. She didn't know. But the GoBots were way cheaper and way more affordable than the Transformers. So that's what we got. The same thing when I asked her for an Izod shirt. Nah, son, I got that Le Tigre bullshit. And the kids in school, man, that was a straight fight. In the third grade, getting in fights in the third grade is bullshit over your clothes. I wore corduroy pants, which didn't help because the kids, when I'd walk by, they'd go, "Voot, voot, voot, voot," because that's the sound it would make. And that was a fist fight for sure. I got sent home all the time. So that was the one gift I wanted as a kid. Sorry for the long-winded version of it, but I had to paint that picture so you totally understand how important Optimus Prime was to us kids of the 70s and 80s. Go ahead, Jeff. What about you? Talk about some disappointment in your life.
Well, actually, I was going to give a shout out to my mom and dad because they didn't have any money, and we were a broke family, but they made Christmas a priority. And also because I wasn't asking for very expensive things, they were able to deliver, In fact, one year, the Nintendo 64 was wildly hard to get. It was the it gift. And my parents still were able to get me that.
Oh, heck yeah.
So I was pretty lucky in that way, especially for having such poor parents who would never give me anything. The whole year, they're like, we don't have money and you don't need it. But then on Christmas, they were very generous and got us what we wanted, which was nice. So if you count the year leading up, my parents refused to buy me shoes. Because when you're growing up and you're a boy, you're always going through shoes. Your feet are growing quickly, but then also you use the same shoes to go to the gym, at least when I was growing up. We were using the same shoes to walk to the bus stop, the same shoes in gym, the same shoes at recess. And so you're really hard on the shoes. And so my mom was like, well, no, you get $20 and you got to buy them at Payless Shoe Store. And she didn't realize how much she was affecting my social status at school. And so that was very disappointing. And it was a weekly battle, yelling at my parents, like, and then lying to the kids, like, I got these at Foot Locker. And they're like, no, you didn't. Those are like cheap Attack Force shoes. And then my parents didn't buy me clothes that I wanted. They bought me the clothes that they wanted me to wear. So like I was wearing like really like form-fitting high water jeans because I was growing so fast.
Yes.
So the kids bullied me for my jeans as well. So I got bullied all the time for like shoes and clothes and stuff. However, Christmas, they were very generous. So shout out to them for Christmas.
And we both went into fields where bullying's common.
Yeah, 100%.
All right, this next one's from Fat Tat Low 2022. Oh, no, not Fat Tat. Sorry, I didn't mean to call you Fat Tat, bro. It's just Tat Low. Why'd I say Fat Tat? That's nowhere on there, man. I just totally shit all over you, bro. I'm so sorry.
Fat Tat.
The worst podcast host ever. And you asked such a good question for me because I have my winner, if he's healthy. And they wants to know, who's your winner of the upcoming 2026 Royal Rumble? And here's my pick, if he's healthy. And I'm not sure if he is because I don't know why he dropped the U.S. title to that Dragunov guy. But it's Sami Zayn. I think Sami Zayn is due for his story, for his championship run. And I think he's going to win the Royal Rumble if there's no injuries or anything like that. If there is, then I'm way wrong. But if he's healthy, mark my words. We make picks. You guys can bet. You probably get good odds right now. Sami Zayn, baby. What about you?
Ladies and gentlemen,
Jesus Christ, you scared me.
My name is Jeff A. Dye, and your 2025 Royal Rumble winner
26.
is Braun Breaker.
I can see it happen. But I think it might happen in 2026, not 2025.
Nope, it's this year,
well,
dude.
it'll be next year.
Oh, yeah, 2026. Gosh, dang it, I ruined it. I didn't even realize the error of my
It's all right. I
ways.
called Tatlow Fat Tatlow for no fucking reason whatsoever, bro.
Gosh, that'd have been so good, too. But that's who I think's winning. Braun Breaker. I love him.
All right. This is from Jut Chaffin, 84. Very French. Or maybe it's Jut Chaffin, 84. I don't know how to say 84 in French.
When will we have Scooby-Doo 3? Is that what it says?
Dude, how did you? No. It's actually a well thought out long question from Justin. He says, hey, Freddie. Hey, Jeff. And hey, Alex. Thanks for making such a fun podcast. I like the blend of Wednesday and Thursday shows. The episode when Freddie talks about filming Road to Recovery, the movie, yeah, and going after your dreams was timely and really resonated with me. Thanks, Freddie, for the inspiration. Oh, fuck yeah, Justin. It helped me with chasing my screenwriting dreams. Best, Justin.
Nice.
Justin, straight up, man. Let me tell you some real talk and then some inspirational talk. Real talk first. Don't fucking quit. Because 98% of the people out there already do. And the reason so few people make it, but the reason people do make it has a lot to do with the fact that everyone around them gave up. That's how I finished the marathon, brother. I saw people quitting all around me. I was like, I ain't gonna fucking quit. I'm gonna finish this shit. But a lot of actors came out here. A lot of screenwriters came out here. A lot of stand-up comics came out here and they said, you know what? It's too damn hard. I'm tired of suffering. I'm tired of struggling. I'm getting a straight job in finance and I'm fucking gone, or whatever job, construction, whatever it is you're going to do. And they give up. And that opens up a spot for you because you fucking didn't. So that's 50% of it is not quitting. The second half of it is a lot of people are going to tell you can't do it. That's people that quit. That's people that gave up on their dream and they want to feel better about themselves. So they're going to tell you how hard it is. And they're going to let you know, you don't want to suffer like that. You don't want to hurt like that. That's going to be no good. That's bullshit too, man. You have to see the dream. You have to see it when nobody else can see it. You have to believe it when nobody else believes it. You have to be able to feel it every single day. That's how serious about your dream you have to be. So I'm glad that resonated with you. Keep letting that shit resonate. You'll find people out there in the world, not just me. They're always going to hit you with some knowledge as long as you're receptive to it. And it sounds like you are. Most artists are. And if you're a screenwriter, you're an artist. So all my best back to you, Justin. Mr. Jut Chaffé 84. Jeff, say something inspirational right now.
I agree with what Freddie said. Also, it's a sacrifice. So sometimes, I've missed many weddings. I've missed many of my friends' weddings. I've missed so many things, so many days because I just wanted to be a stand-up comedian. I wanted to be a real stand-up comedian. And it's like he said, like there's so many people that just give up. They meet someone and they go, I guess my dream won't be as important as this. Mm-hmm. And like I watched a great video just not that long ago of Seth Rogen talking about Ewan McGregor, about how he was like this old guy and he was like doing like local theater and he was still an actor for sure and very talented. But like then he books this huge role when he's in his like 70s. And it's like the only difference between him and everyone else is that he just didn't quit. He just kept doing it. He didn't say to himself like, well, I'm not a leading man anymore. I'm in my 70s. No, he was like, no, I love this. That's the other question you got to ask yourself. Is there anything else you'd rather be doing? I'd do stand-up comedy if they stopped paying me tomorrow. I would still do it every night because I love it. So hopefully you're that into your writing that who cares if it never makes you $1, but you're just doing exactly what you want to be doing every day. So that's the real golden secret cup.
Hell yes. Father and son Battletech. Oh shit, Jeff. You have not played this game with me yet, but you will. Battletech is one of the most fun tabletop board game type games that I have ever played. It's like chess with robots. Each robot can move a certain amount of inches. Kind of like in chess, each piece can move a certain way. So each character, each piece can do the same. They hit for different amounts of damage. They have a different amount of armor. They have a different amount of movement. It's really, really unique. Every game is different. I play this shit a lot and have a solid group, but people get sick, people have kids, people have jobs, and the next time someone comes, if you want to come join us for a sesh, you will love this game. It is a ton of fun. Everybody has a blast that plays it. I've even had girls over that love it. Girls play Battletech too. What do you know about that, people? Now here's your question. Oh, okay, here we go. This is not wrestling related, but how do we get you to come out to a Battletech event? It would be amazing to have you at the table. So I've thought about this. I almost went to one in Germany. And I was going to take the whole family like on a European vacation. I've watched some German Battletech on YouTube. And it's where I've like sort of stolen some of my strategies from. Was from, I can't remember the name of these guys because I haven't watched them in a long time. But I'll shout them out on another episode in the new year. So I've almost done it. But I get pretty busy since I've gone back to acting. I got some hopefully really great news to report in the new year as well. That'll make me even more busy. So it's hard to get to those. It's hard to get to those events because productions won't let me go, even though it's on a weekend, because Friday is a travel day and I have to work 5 days a week on a movie. If you're directing, you're working 7 days a week because you're editing on the off days anyway. So yeah, it's tough. But I want to go, and if there's ever one in Los Angeles where it's like super easy, my ass will be there. So just hit me up on Instagram if you see one ever in Los Angeles or San Diego or something like that. Maybe Comic-Con will have one. I don't know. Jeff, you don't play Battletech, so you don't get to answer this question, huh?
Yeah. But I mean, if they want me there, how much does it pay? That's what
they need stand-up comics at these conventions, man, to break the ice.
Yeah, it sounds perfect. Yeah, I love money. Hit up my GoFundMe, send me some dates. You know what I'm saying? Jeff Dye loves that green.
Loves the green, but he'll do comedy for free. All right.
That's true.
This one is, all right, here we go. Hey, Freddie. I've been a huge fan since She's All That. Oh, yeah. Rachel Lee Cook, baby. And I've watched most of your movies. Most? What the fuck? No, I'm just kidding. And Scooby-Doo would probably have to be my favorite. When I found out you were a wrestling fan, I realized why I could have been so drawn to you as a fan. Yes, we connected on wrestling like Jeffrey and I. I was just wondering what your honest opinion was on John Cena's last match at Saturday Night's Main Event. If you've already heard the episode, you know the answer to this. The way you phrased it, I'm assuming you maybe didn't care for it. Maybe you were hoping for a different outcome. But I'll put it to you this way. I thought it was like a Shakespearean tragedy, which are beautiful, right? There's beauty in tragedy. If if you've suffered, you can see beauty in trauma, right? Because you can see what comes out on the other side. Because there's an old saying that pain is temporary. It may last an hour, a week, a year, but eventually it subsides and you become someone better at the end of it. So I thought that was kind of the story that he was telling there. I thought it was beautiful. I loved the tap out. I think that's the most generous thing a wrestler can do for another wrestler, especially on the way out. It just makes the other one look so great, especially because Gunther promised he would do exactly that. And he didn't break the promise, which makes him so much more serious to deal with when he says something the next time when he goes after the World Heavyweight Championship against someone like Jeff Love's Braun Breaker, and he beats his ass. What, Jeff? In your face. So that was my honest opinion on Cena's last match. What about you, Jeff?
I thought it was fun. I thought it was great. I don't know. I don't know what all the celebrities in attendance and everybody really had in mind. I don't know what they were expecting because I thought it was fine. I thought it was great. And also, Triple H is listening to you. Take it easy on the guy. He's listening to you. He's listening to his talent. You all cried that it wasn't the main event of Saturday night because they were going to open with it. And so they changed it like week of because everyone was like, it's not even going to be the last show. So he's listening to the fans. He's trying to give you what he wants, but he's also trying to listen to the wrestlers and do things the way the wrestling industry used to do. So there's a lot of voices that he's trying to factor. And so give the guy a break.
Are you wearing a Spider-Man shirt?
Yes,
Yeah,
sir.
right on, dude. Oh, Venom. Venom, okay. Respect, bro. Yo, I almost wrote a Venom storyline for Marvel Comics back in the day, but it all fell apart. Yeah. I'll tell you why off air. I can't tell the story or people get mad at me. All right, moving on to the voice messages with producer Alex introducing you guys. Give it up for producer Alex.
Crowd goes mild.
No booze. Go, Elias. Go for it. The floor is yours, Elias.
If Freddie had his promotion and there was a match with Jeff versus Alex in a Punjabi prison match for any mid-card title Freddie has, who's going over and what spots are happening?
All right. First of all, Elias, great voice work. You sounded totally different than when you sing and do that. All right, dude. First of all, it's kind of fucked up that you said Jeff and Alex are mid-card guys and they can only get that.
Yeah, what the hell's going on?
That's what you guys get. You just got mid-carded by Elias.
Yeah. Even in some fantasy made up by a listener, I have to be mid-card. That's wild, dude.
Cold-blooded. Elias is cold-blooded, man. I kind of like him. First of all, it would have to be a Punjabi prison match because that's Jeff's favorite match, and the storyline would build up to that. So we would get there. You know, Jeff would harass Alex's character on what would Alex's name be? What would your name be, Alex? Would it just be Big Al Cardoza? The Big Cardozi versus Jackpot Jeff Dye in a Punjabi prison match from Wilkes-Barre, Pennsylvania. It's got to be in Wilkes-Barre. So first of all, if you guys remember the last one, it was the New Day versus the Usos. And at one point, Xavier Woods gets like pinned to the cage by bamboo poles by kendo sticks. And then they just go to town on him and just start whipping his ass. And I know what you're wanting to know, people. Who's pinned and who's getting their ass beat? Well, I know what the people want, and I'm going to give the people what they want. So Jeff's pinned in the corner. He's pinned in the corner, and the Big Cardozi's got the kendo stick. Maybe it's a bamboo cane pole, like Singapore style, and he just starts going to town on Jeff. And it's an I Quit Punjabi match, and he makes Jeff say I quit because it's just too much of a beating, and he gets split. This is what Elias wants. This is what the people want. I'm like Triple H. I listen to the people.
Jeff has left the chat. That's what's going on here. Unbelievable.
See, you made
Listen, here's the thing, guys. Alex is a good man. That's what you don't know about Alex. He's a good man. He's one of the best men we know. He's a great man, served this country. He's a family man. He's a dad. But Jeff Dye cheats, baby, and I don't lose. Now, listen, I didn't say I was going to win clean. I didn't say that I would win in the honorable way, but I will backstab. I will cheat. I'll have my cronies come in. I'll have some hooded, black, masked guy cheat for me. I'll break a 2x4 over Alex's face. And when I say face, I mean good guy face. I'm the heel, baby. And so the point is, I will win. I will prevail by cheating at any means necessary, and I will escape the Punjabi prison.
Yes.
I like that.
Hope
And growing up Puerto Rican, I've taken a lot of beatings over the head, so we're good. Yeah. I'm like a Samoan, bro.
Oh, yeah, bro. Yeah, you can take a whooping. You can take a whooping.
Yeah.
I have a skull like a Samoan.
Yeah, and I would take the Puerto Rican flag and put it in the middle of the ring and make everyone boo. Yeah, it would be the best.
See, that's heel. Yeah, he get the heat
in San Juan.
for sure. And the match would be in San Juan.
Yeah. Keep the
That's why we need that cage.
Keep
those
baby.
freaks from not getting
Start throwing batteries at him.
Throwing those beers at me.
Beers, you'd be in pennies and batteries thrown at you. That's what they were chucking when I was there.
This next one's coming up from Wayne Phillips. Here we go.
Freddie, this is Wayne Phillips. I was curious if you would ever consider being a manager for any of the wrestlers in AEW. If so, which wrestlers would you like to manage? Thank you.
Oh, hell yeah, Wayne. I love your accent, dude. Country. You country as hell, man. That accent's so smooth. I love that. You know what?
Sounded like you said wine.
Wayne. I love Wayne, man. I love that accent so much that I feel like you're going to invite me in for lemonade, brother. All right. So I kind of have this secret dream, right? This secret fantasy that I will be a wrestling manager one day. It's a 0.001% chance of it ever happening, but I for sure would want it to happen. I would love to manage Powerhouse Hobbs. I think that would be super cool because I like him a lot, and I think I'm pretty good on the mic, so I could help get him over, and then while I'm getting him over, work with him and help him, rely on his own voice, so he doesn't need a dude like me, and then he can turn on me and smash me through the ring, and everyone will be like, "No, why'd you smash Freddie?" And he's like, "'Cause I'm a heel, you bastards." So I'd love to do something like that. But yeah, it's a secret fantasy of mine. Jeff, what about you, dude? If you could be a manager, is there somebody that you would love to manage besides Braun Breaker and Bronson Reed? They already have one.
No, so I would love to be a manager. Here's the thing. I would love to be a manager. I would love to create a unit of guys who are giants. And their whole thing is they just bully the best of the rest of the roster of like, dude, you're all small. And like while they talk, just keep talking about how little they are. So every guy on my team is just a big giant freak. I book the way Vince used to book, just get the biggest guys. I got, Big Cass. I got Wardlow. I got all these big giant guys. And then, Hobbs, all those guys.
You just stole Hobbs from me, bro. I thought I had Hobbs. You just stole Hobbs.
The best. Anybody big. and the music just goes, like it sounds like hell is coming to the ring. It's not even music. It's a big vibration sound. And they're huge freaks that I bring down to just rain tyranny on every small person on the roster. Now, I'm 6'4". I don't need to be, looking big. I want my wrestlers to look big. So my manager character rides around in a wheelchair and he has a blanket over his legs and I'm very small and cowardly, like whenever they try to get me, I go, but I am a handicapped person. Why would you do this? And then my big freaks come in and break some heads.
Jeff always goes heel. He always goes full on heel.
Before I play the next one, I do got to say it's funny that you mentioned it as your song, because that's what Don Callis comes out to. He comes out to. You ever notice? That's his song. It's just a sound that just vibrates the arena.
Yeah. No, I think it should sound I think it should be like a big horn,
like warning, like you think King Kong's about to
the
come.
end of times is coming. Yeah, like
the old Miro theme.
And you just see these big freaks come out.
That was a good horn sound effect. That was some Lord of the Rings shit right there, dude.
That'd be awesome.
The Riders of Roa, man, just fucking rolled up, man.
Yeah, I don't need some sort of strange 90s butt rock that we can come out with our bad tattoos. You know what I mean?
What's
like
a butt rock?
All the music and stuff.
Oh, the music.
Looks like it'd be.
I thought he was talking about something brand new. I was like, wait, what?
All the wrestling music sounds dated. It seems like something that would be cool, like when I was in 9th grade.
EO Sky's music's the only music that I really like because there's no words.
This next one coming up is friend of the show, Emma Frad, who's always sending in great questions.
Hey, Freddie and Jeff.
Let's go, Emma.
Emma here. I'm just wondering, what is the most recent wrestling match you have watched that you would watch again? I feel like lately wrestling has been filled with like a lot of moments and not a lot of good kind of stories. And I'm just curious. That's how I determine like a good match if I would watch it again. I'm curious, what you guys have to say about that. Also, thanks for your podcast. Bloody love it.
All right, Emma.
There you go.
Emma, thank you for calling in again. Emma, I know, look, the bar may be low on our podcast here for what I'm about to say, but I mean this in the utmost respect. You got the best voice of any of the callers that call in, and
besides Wayne.
Wayne was cool, man. Wayne was cool, but this is the best voice for sure. The Australian accent is the best accent on women. On dudes like Jim Jeffries, not as hot. Not as hot. Well, I love Jim Jeffries, but it's not as hot. But on like when Nicole Kidman or what's her face from The Lord of the Rings, great actress. What's her name?
Smeagol.
Not Smeagol.
That's what the guys sound like in Australia. Some parts of Australia.
Smeagol. Not Smeagol, bro. Anyway, the voice is dope. It's hot. It's awesome. And I already have one for you because I already watched it 3 times. Once because it was fun, a second time because it was awesome, and a third time because I thought I was going to talk more about it last week, but I ended up not. And that was the recent match in the tournament on AEW for the Continental Classic between Mike Speedball Bailey and Kyle Fletcher. These dudes win at it. You're Sydney's own Kyle Fletcher. These dudes win at it so hard. They gave so much. It was no blood, but it was sweat and tears. You got that. And it was awesome. They were so fast when they needed to be fast. They took their time when you want them to take time. I thought they told an excellent story. And that was one that I definitely was excited to watch again. Any of those for you, Jeff? Any that you can remember? Or is it like you've said earlier?
The thing that came up when she first asked it was War Games.
Oh, yeah. War Games.
I felt like I did rewatch the men's War Games like a few times. So that's the first one that came up. But like I did say earlier, I'm not a big like match guy.
That's what I was
mostly stories that I like. So it's hard for me to think of one. But I did watch the men's War Games 3 times. So maybe that. But also to your credit, Emma, it was because there was just a lot of spots. There was just like all these spots that I liked. So I guess a good match is a collection of spots. But I was really just kind of rewatching those spots. So that's all I can think.
Thank you, Emma.
This next one, we got 2 more after this. Next one coming up is from Jason, and we have 2 different Jasons. So this one's the first Jason.
All right, Jason.
I am the great Bronzino. And you, my arch nemesis, Freddie Prinze II. You have avoided me because
Bronzino.
you left the great Ulan Musk's Tartar. And now I see you on Instagram and your podcasts with all your great wrestling knowledge. But I want you to know I'm still out here waiting, watching, plotting, occasionally napping and snacking, but mostly plotting. I'm going to get you, Freddie.
Yeah.
And I hope you all have a great new year. Thank you so much for your time.
So, this is the great Bronzino. And for those of you who don't know, he was a part of a wrestling promotion called Wrestling Pro Wrestling, which was Bryan Danielson's comedy cosplay wrestling promotion that he ran out here in Southern California.
Which is a great promotion. It was so
They used to do dick kick matches. And it was awesome. They would tell these beautiful stories in between the matches of like famous movies from the 80s that they were all fans of. And we would have so much fun. and I've been to a bunch of these, and the great Branzino would come out almost every week. He'd be booked for a match, and he's real short. He's like a dwarven wizard, right? He's probably about 3 feet tall, and his walkout takes a very long time. Now, I say all this, I'm not bagging on the guy. He's walking out on his fucking knees. The dude's actually pretty tall. So he's walking out on his knees. The walkout takes forever. He's talking to the crowd while he does it, and he finally gets his ass in the ring, his slow ass. He finally gets in the ring, only to tell the crowd that once again, he can't wrestle tonight because he's contracted some magical disease, and it's always some like magical STD. So instead of herpes, he contracted harpies, and he can't wrestle tonight because it's highly contagious. And then he exits the ring, and you never get to see this fucking guy wrestle. He's never wrestled in a match, but he's been booked a million times. And he started talking shit to me on Twitter. And I really fell in love with the guy, and I love that he called in and listens to the podcast. Shout out to the great Branzino and comedy wrestlers everywhere. Santino Morello, you're still my favorite. And great Branzino, sorry, dude, you're number 2, sucker.
That Branzino sounded like Gollum.
Schmeagol.
I just referenced Smeagol. But it started as Smeagol, then it became like Danhausen, then it became Triumph the Insult Dog, and then there was also an Iron Sheik in there. Dude, there was like 4 of things that are great all mixed into this guy. I'd like to see this 3-foot freak. It was pretty good, little mic work.
Oh my God! No, the great Branzino's money.
On Freddie.
The great Branzino's money, dude. All right, hit us.
This one is from a second Jason, not from Magical Jason.
No. He has no magic.
Hey guys, Jason from Denver calling. First off, big shout out to producer Alex. Great job hosting those shows when the guys were out of town. Got a question about celebrities in wrestling. Now, I grew up with Mr. T and Dennis Rodman and guys who could really beat you up if you met them on the street. Nowadays, we're getting Jelly Roll and a whole bunch of randoms. Who would you guys have in the wrestling ring, past or present, if you could choose? Thanks.
Oh, dude. All right. So I'll give you a past and a present. And I couldn't agree more with your take, by the way, Jason Momoa. You guys didn't know Jason Momoa calls into the show from Denver, but he does. He's got a house there. And all right, I totally agree. I think the last one that worked was probably Hugh Jackman because it was against Dolph Ziggler, and he was bigger and buffer than Dolph. Sorry for busting you on that, Dolph, but he got a good knockout shot on you. And so I thought that was cool. But all the other ones, I've always been kind of like, if he loses, so long as he loses, I'm okay with it. So old school, I'll give you the toughest guy because he was a real tough guy. My godfather, Bob Wall, actually trained him and taught him how to fight, and that was Steve McQueen. Steve McQueen, for those of you who don't know, Google Steve McQueen. He was a man's man. He drove a man's car. He smoked man's cigarettes. He would fight other men. All the women loved him. All the men wanted to be him. Now, you guys don't care about the old stuff, so I'll give you some new shit. If I could have somebody who's like going to promote a movie and we needed to tie it in and we wanted them to actually look like they could kick some ass, what do you guys think about Jason Statham? That British dude that always is whipping ass in like the Transporter movie, and every movie's basically the transporter, the beekeeper, but I'm also the transporter. I'm the peacekeeper, but I'm the transporter. Like they're all the transporter, but he always whips ass. But yeah, Jason Statham comes off like a badass in every movie, and I'd love to see him do some WWE stuff. What about you, Jeff? You can't say me.
Well,
uh-oh.
This is tough.
Oh, okay. I thought it was about to be trouble.
My take on all these people, when I see an Andrew Schultz and when I see a Jelly Roll and I see Post Malone, you see all these people they've put in there, whether it's Jon Stewart or...
Oh, that one did not
any
work.
of the people we've seen. Ken Jeong, any of these guys. Listen, I get it. I am a somewhat known person who is so obsessed with wrestling that I'll wring out any type of success I have to try to be a part of wrestling because I get it. So I get it. I'm on their sides. But I think all the celebrities should be in wrestling, just not in the ring. The second that they have matches together is when I'm like, what are we doing? But I think they're good for wrestling when they're like, maybe in a storyline or a backstage segment, or they're on the side, in the thing. I like all that. I just don't like it when it's part of a match. That's when I say, get them out of there. Get real pro wrestlers. I don't want to see Bad Bunny go, wow, he's getting really good. He's been doing it for a whole month. I don't care. So that being said, from the past, if there was any wrestler, any like celebrities I would want to see, it would probably be like football players, like Brian.
That would
somebody
be awesome.
who would be. That'd be like a cool person that would make total sense, and you would believe that they could wrestle the wrestlers because they're so big and strong. But other than that, I'm a firm believer of keeping these celebrities in wrestling but out of the ring.
Yeah, man. I had done one of these, and it wasn't a match, but I had to take a move from Randy Orton. And even that, I was so nervous about not doing justice and getting it wrong and messing it up, because I think celebrities more often than not, their ego, right, doesn't want them to look bad. They're doing press for a movie. They don't want to get beat up and look like shit. But like, you're going into their environment, you should lose. You should get beat up if you're going there. So my thing is similar to Jeff's, but I would say the celebrity should always lose. That would be my addition to it. But thank you for the question. I thought that was a cool question.
Before we get to this last one, Jason Statham, didn't he fight Megalodon twice with his bare hands and killed him?
The dude beat a shark twice, bro. You don't think he can beat Braun Breaker?
Yeah.
Come on.
And we had Steve Mongo McMichaels back in the day. Unfortunately, he passed away. And Kevin Green, who also passed away. Man, we had some monsters back in the day. This next one's coming up from Sam Parmy, all the way from the Philippines. Man, he's been listening and a huge supporter of the show since day one.
Shout out to the Philippines. Y'all got some good ass food.
Freddie and Jeff, I just want to know your thoughts about the recent development regarding TNA and TNA Impact moving to AMC next year in January 2026.
Sam, dude, first of all, thanks for listening all the way out there. Beautiful culture of the Philippines. I love the food. Big Filipino community out here in California. And yeah, I wish I knew more about your culture than how delicious it is. But I eat everything that you guys cook. So I love I've said this for a long time in like wrestling group friends or talking to wrestlers who actually work there. Like, all TNA needs is a fucking home. They just need a home that people know exists, a channel that people's ears have heard once before, spoken by someone else, instead of these random channels that you've never heard in your life. Like, we're on Bluebee, we're on Sluber, we're on Kluk Kluk Kluk. Like, it's just all these like weird names. It's hard to find these channels, but most people know about AMC. So even though it's not an American movie classic that's going to be, that's what AMC stands for those of you guys who didn't know. Even though it doesn't stand for that, they have a home that's known. It's going to get a better rating than it's ever gotten. I guarantee you that, Sam. Just because there's more eyeballs on AMC than on the previous channel, of which I can't even tell you the name that it's on right now. So yes, I think it'll be a good thing. Jeff, what do you think about the business of TNA moving to a better channel?
I don't know how to feel about competing brands. I seem to often be rooting for the monopoly, it seems like. Like, anytime a guy's doing good on AEW, instead of me just being happy for him, I'm like, well, when's he going to come to WWE? I still have this strange thing in my brain where I'm like, well, if they're good enough on TNA, I'll eventually see him on Raw. And it's my brain that is thinking that. I don't know why. I know competition is good, and I know that more wrestling is good for everybody. But I would love if TNA was on Netflix and I could just watch it the way I watch wrestling. I don't know if that's ever going to happen or how it would happen, but I'd like to be able to watch more TNA so I could want more wrestling, All
right, you guys, we hope you had a great Christmas Eve. Hope you got all the gifts you wanted. Wake up early, open gifts with the family. Happy holidays to everyone. I hope you guys enjoyed the show this year. We'll be back next year. And the year after that, and the year after that, as long as you guys like listening to us. So on behalf of Jeff, on behalf of Alex, I'm Freddie, saying happy holidays and peace.